When you've typed in project manager.
Yeah, so on LinkedIn, do you know how LinkedIn recruiter works?
I know LinkedIn.
So I done keyword searches. I didn't see one black person, and I was like, but I know so many black project managers. So it's either LinkedIn algorithms are biased somehow. I don't know how, but or.
Hey guys, welcome to the Stand Up Accra podcast. I go by the name of Adrian Daniels. If this is your first time listening, this is the show where we chat to top Ghanaian founders, entrepreneurs, and creators worldwide with the aim of leaving you behind with meaningful takeaways that you can apply in your life, career, and business. Just before we get into today's episode, you can head over to thesoundofaccra.com/Alicia. That's thesoundofaccra.com/Alicia for today's show notes. So all of the references, links, nuggets, wisdom, you can find it all there. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like, share, and leave us a comment. Let us know what you think of today's episode while you're here. And Spotify and Apple listeners, a 5-star review is very much appreciated. So I am joined with Alicia, of course, Alicia Richardson. She is the founder of BlackCreateConnect. I said it properly, and she's not going to kill me. And she's also a diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant. Yeah. Alicia, thanks for coming on the show, lovely.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm good.
Yeah, it's great to see you. It's my first time seeing you on your trip in Ghana.
I know. Everything's aligning. Everything's aligning. The first time was at the Stand Up Accra 3-year celebration.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm glad you got to network a little bit and meet some people.
Yeah.
How's the trip in Ghana been?
So it's been good. I think one of the biggest things for me is the people whenever I go anywhere. So I've really enjoyed just meeting the locals. Everyone's been really nice, really accommodating. From my touchdown in the airport, I was like, oh, this is home.
Yeah.
You know, I feel really loved. I love the different sceneries. I love I guess the bars and the restaurants and, you know, being able to sit beside the pool and having. I went to Jamrock the other day.
Ooh, I haven't been. I haven't been there yet. There's so many spots.
When I went to Jamrock, I think I ran around. I was like, oh my goodness, they've got all of the names of where we are in Jamaica, like the Grill, Kingston, everything here. The food was...
Yeah, they got like a little Jamaican community here. You'll notice they got a little bit of everything. They got a little Britain community. You go to pubs and fish and chips restaurants. You got like a little Paris community. You got a little Lebanese community. It's weird.
It's so diverse here.
Yeah, it's so diverse,
It's so diverse, and I didn't know, so I'm really happy to be here. And I'm so far so good. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, you don't know how much happy that makes me to hear that you're enjoying Ghana. Yeah, you're one of us now. You must get passports. You must get passports.
Listen, my Ghana ID is on its way. Okay, I've already got a Ghanaian name tattooed on me.
Wow.
And she's like, trusting out. So I'm almost there.
All right. Okay. So yeah, it's great to have you in the show. I'm really excited about that. But we'll touch more about Alicia's time in Ghana and what her plans surrounding that are. So let's go straight into it. So, I mean, for the audience and for listeners out there that don't know much or don't know about BlackCreateConnect, could you just give us a quick elevator pitch about BCC?
Sure. So BlackCreateConnect was initially a platform that started from a WhatsApp group in 2020 just to provide support for Black professionals. And that grew rapidly because there was opportunities that were being created, there was people connecting and people were growing from the group. And then the companies were asking to connect with Black professionals in ways that I've managed to connect with them. So I've created a platform for companies to connect organically through events, through the job board, also through the podcast if they'd like to advertise through the podcast as well, through partnerships. And it's a way also for, I guess, the Black community to feed back to me and tell me what we want to see from companies. And I'm almost like the middleman. So I really want to that's what BlackCreateConnect is about. It's creating opportunities for the Black professionals.
I love that. Yeah, you just kind of bring in the tribe together. And I remember LinkedIn and even Anne commented as well. And I think she's in your network, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a great platform. I've been enjoying the podcast as well. Keep going, keep doing what you're doing. You've been consistent with it as well, and your videos that you put out as well on the back of the platform, really, really well spoken.
Thank you, thank you. I was nervous when I first started doing it though.
That's what happens. It's natural. You have butterflies, but then they just fly out, and then they fly out, and you get more free.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's with. I guess it's with time.
Yeah.
When you think about the toss up, because I was so nervous about doing a podcast initially, because I think it's a brave step to make to put yourself out there, and also people have an expectation for you to be consistent. So it's like, okay, you know, putting yourself out there, being consistent, it's a bit scary, but when you weigh it up and you look at the rewards of what can kind of come from it, it's worth it. So.
Absolutely, I'm sure you've seen so far, because you've been doing you've been podcasting for how long?
Only a year.
There you go, and I'm sure a few doors have opened.
Definitely.
Yeah, and when you get to 3 years, just wait. Wait, you're gonna have like a nice little, home run moment, which is what I like to call, where everything just changes. Honestly,
I can see it. The sound of Accra as well, so I'm excited to follow suit.
You have your own birthday cake soon.
I know. I have my own BlackCreateConnect birthday cake.
I'll invite myself to
I'll
that.
have it here in Zuzubury as well. 3 year celebration. It's coffee sound of Accra.
Yeah. Feel free to go there. All right, so let's talk more about BlackCreateConnect. So of course you just gave us a quick pitch, but let's go a bit deeper. So, talk us through the kind of guests that let's talk about the podcast first. While we're talking about the podcast, talk us quickly through the kind of guests that you seek to get on the podcast and what your mission is with the podcast. I know it's an extension of the platform.
Yeah. So to give you guys like a backstory, right? I found that before the podcast, I find that I was constantly meeting incredible individuals from the network that I was building. So different Black professionals, entrepreneurs, creatives. And I was constantly sometimes I'll just have a Zoom and I will have such an interesting conversation. And I'm like, I wish that was recorded. Like there was so much that was shared in that conversation. We can't let these conversations go to waste. And then I also found that I was being asked a lot of the same questions twice, not twice, multiple times. So again, people will ask me for advice on CVs, on career progression. They'll ask me about my journey. They'll say, I know you're connected with so and so. What did they say about this? And I thought it makes sense to just record these conversations so that you can be directed to listen to these conversations. So how I go about actually selecting podcast guests. It's about what they're doing in their field and how they've their journey. So whatever journey they've kind of put out there. So I'll give you an example. Sometimes I select guests based on mainly energy. Sometimes I go to an event. I really like what they said. So an example is Torin Ellis. He's a DEI consultant. And I remember I went to an event called Wreckfest. And for those that don't know what Wreckfest is, it's a recruitment festival. So like Wireless that's cool. Afro Nation. But it's for recruiters. And then I went to, his talk was really, really packed. And I went to quite a few talks. I don't know if you've gone to an event before, Adrian.
Probably.
No. like a conference, right?
Yeah. So many.
And you go to so many different talks.
Oh my gosh.
And you get talk fatigue. It's like some talks.
There was too many.
Yeah, some are too many, but then there's some that stand out to you.
Yeah.
Have you ever had talks that stand out to you before?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And so his talk stood out to me. Because of the things that he was saying, I was learning new things about how to approach diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I thought, he can teach me some things. Like no one else here has really taught me anything new, but he's really sparked my my thoughts. And then it was his delivery, it was his presence, it was just the silence. He had silence, complete silence in the room. And then afterwards, I saw some people go up to him and just to say thanks. And I thought, you know what? I feel compelled to go to him and just say the same thing. So I went to him. I said, Torin, that was an amazing talk. I loved it. Thank you for inspiring me and educating me in that 30 minutes. And he was like, you're welcome. And then something just came into me. And he's from the States, right? So I was like, ask him. Like, ask him to be a guest. I was so nervous. And at the time, I was managing... there was a girl that I was managing in my team beside me. So she's looking up to me and she's like to me, come on, Alicia, you're so confident. You always tell me to take the plunge.
I was about to say that.
But I was so nervous. So then I said, Torin, how long are you in the UK for? He was like, till Sunday. The day that we were speaking was Thursday.
Okay.
And I was like, can you come on my podcast? Because I think that you're amazing.
Did you do your eyes closed? No,
I was
Did you do it like a back?
I think I was like,
the light is too bright. The light is too bright.
And the thing is, I was thinking in my head, why am I? It was just rejection.
Yeah.
I was scared to hear a no, and you shouldn't. I mean, that's a fear that needs to be taken away. But I said, you know what, you're great, and he was like, sure, let's book it in right now. And I was like, there's no fee, there's no PA, there's no nothing.
Yeah.
He was like, no, I like your approach. You know, I'm happy to come on with you. And I promise you, touring has been a blessing. It hasn't just been the interview. The interview was phenomenal with him. But since then, he's had conversations with me to mentor me, to coach me, to help me, give me advice. He's reviewed documents for me. He's helped me so much. So when I look at podcast guests, I think, who can I potentially have a real relationship with as well? A real business relationship, not even necessarily even business, but who do I gravitate towards? Whose story really engages me? Who can teach me some new things? Who can inspire me? Those are the type of conversations that I want to have. So it's not about numbers necessarily.
No.
It's about you and like whatever I see from you at whatever time in life. So that's my explanation. Hope that helps.
It definitely helps. Definitely helps. Context, not necessarily content, and quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Part of finding people that stand out, people that really, get your attention, and you feel that, okay, this person's got my attention. I think you get my audience's attention too. And I think you kind of know the kind of listeners that you have as well on your show. Well, thanks for sharing a bit more about your podcast. It's really, really insightful to hear that. It's a powerful story. Look forward to listening back to this.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have you got your network, you got a community. You do your events from time to time.
Yeah.
I feel like your actual community comes out and meets each other. And you've got WhatsApp group.
Yes, exactly.
It's a whole ecosystem. I love it.
Yeah. So I mean, just to talk a bit more about that, if you're happy please. So so for more context, everyone. So with the WhatsApp group, as I said, when I first started it, the real answer actually is I was a recruiter, right? And I was on LinkedIn doing a LinkedIn search, looking for project managers for one of the clients I was working with. And I promise you, I kid you not, Adrian, I went through about 10 pages. I didn't see one black person.
No.
Yes, on LinkedIn Recruiter.
When you typed in project manager.
Yeah, so on LinkedIn, do you know how LinkedIn Recruiter works? I know LinkedIn. So I done keyword searches. I didn't see one black person, and I was like, but I know so many black project managers. So it's either LinkedIn algorithms are biased somehow. I don't know how, but or it could be that black professionals are not updating their profiles enough to be seen on LinkedIn. Whatever it is, let's solve this problem. And I literally put a post out on LinkedIn there and then and said, okay, I know that, and this ironically was around the Black Lives Matter time, George Floyd. So I said, okay, let's come together. Let me plug you because I have so many jobs and you need to get some opportunities. And what I noticed is that people were joining the group rapidly, and I was getting people in. Do you remember Clubhouse?
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Do
you remember Clubhouse? Clubhouse was such a time, like a moment in time. Yeah. So I remember I was doing talks on Clubhouse, just giving out career advice, and people were just joining the group, referring their friends. And I was like, there's something here. And at the time, I didn't know what it was.
I was first public speaking gig.
Yeah. Clubhouse, yeah. But, I mean, when I saw people coming into the room and then having people on stage and interviewing people, I was like, I love this. I was scheduling work time on my work diary, and I said, managers, directors, that's my Clubhouse time where I'm going to be talking about. I hired people from Clubhouse. So I made so many hires from Clubhouse, and that's when I realized I hired people from Twitter, from LinkedIn. So not just LinkedIn, that's obvious. Instagram, Facebook groups, Slack groups, events. I hire my method of hiring is diverse. So that's why I've managed to, I guess, learn it and teach other people how to hire diverse organically. So so with that group, and then whilst I was working internally at some companies, I was managing, I won't say their names, but I was managing some other external partners, right, that were targeted for black professionals. And what I did on our ATS system, I created a tracking link to see how many applications we got through their platforms versus mine. I created a tracking link for BlackCreate. I didn't tell my company. I thought, let me just analyze it and see what we have here, because this is a small knit community. We've only got maybe 400 or so people in the group.
It's a lot, though.
But these platforms have thousands of people in there on social media.
But it's very concentrated.
Exactly. And when I saw the results, I kid you not, and I wish I could tell you something different. Those platforms didn't get any applications on their. They didn't get any relevant. I think today from the group, for me directly, other people, there could be more. I think there's been about 32 hires, and that's from like clients. That's me. So remember, I worked at a talent consultancy where there was multiple clients I was working on. So from the group, there's been about 32 altogether. There was probably in my last role, I hired about 4 people from the. So at Depop, about 4 people that came from the group, and then before then, at Engine, now House 337, I can say the name, it's fine. Probably about 8 or so. Those from the group.
Yeah.
And the reason, and what I realized is that there's power in direct networks. Like if someone refers, because maybe the hires weren't from the group exactly, but it might have been that Adrian sent it to his sister and his sister sent it to a friend. And because it's a direct link, you trust the source 100%. And then you apply for it versus just putting it out there. So because of that, and I know the power that has, and people somehow trust me as well because it's all love. I know it's all love. Because of that, I want companies will work with me on partnerships to really, I guess, tap into that network and to expand on it. Something that I'm doing this year as well with companies is content creation and job ad campaigns. So stay with me. When as a, I guess in this day and age, right, when you're looking for a job, or if you're thinking about looking for a job, you won't necessarily go to a specific diverse job board, or would you? Would you type in diversejobs.com and as your first thought?
Not necessarily. I'll go to the big platforms.
You go to Indeed, LinkedIn. Perfect. Yeah. And although those are wide platforms, not necessarily targeted, but right now there's a trend in video content like TikToks, Instagram Reels, LinkedIn, and companies are not advertising jobs through these methods. They're not commonly advertising jobs. They're missing out on a massive market. Yeah. Not only that, but if they were to advertise jobs in that method with trusted voices from particular communities, it's a no-brainer. You're going to get more applicants and more interest 100%. For your company. 100%. So that's what I'm working with companies on for BlackCreateConnect this year as well. Working with Black content creators that specialize in tech or creative and advertising jobs through them.
That's clever.
It's no one else is doing it, and I just think, why are you not doing it yet? And if you want to do it as well and see the results, come back to me and tell me, tell me how it is. But you know, that's one of the things that we aim to do kind of long term. I hope that gives you some more.
No, it's fantastic. I think this method of job seeking or recruitment, I think it can be applied to any country, any continent in the world, because this is the day and age that we're in, where short form content and video content, like you said, is taken over, and our attention spans are getting narrower. We don't have patience to read long applications as a recruiter or as a job seeker. We don't have time to maybe just read lots of descriptions. We just want it now. You understand?
Yeah.
So I think that will grab attention.
100%. 100%.
That will definitely grab attention for sure.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. Wow, it's fantastic. So I'm really excited to hear about what BlackCreateConnect is doing, and then of course we're going to come back to what the plans are going to be for this year primarily. I want to go into a bit more about DEI, so diversity, equity, inclusion. So for those that aren't too familiar with the term, could you just break it down real quick?
Sure. So a quick definition of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So diversity is actually what we see around us, so the difference in the makeup of society, whether that's through cognitive abilities, cultural backgrounds, experiences, socioeconomic backgrounds. The spectrum is wide, but that's what diversity is. Now, equity is when you have you have infrastructure in place that enable the people that are from marginalized backgrounds to elevate, and so that they're equal. So some companies swap the E with equality, but I commonly use equity because for example, let me give you an example of equity. In the workplace, if there's someone that is neurodiverse and they need to have a particular software to do their work to the same level as someone that isn't neurodiverse, a company will be adding equity by giving them that software to use because they're helping them to be level and have an equal opportunity, right? That's an example. And then inclusion is making sure, people always say, not just inviting someone to the party, but asking them to dance as well. So inclusion is actually considering different people's contributions, perspective, not making people feel that their difference is not okay, making sure that people feel that their difference is actually an addition. A lot of companies use the word culture fit a lot of the times when they're advertising for jobs or when they're looking for people. And the change should be culture add. And that's the inclusion piece, that's the inclusion mentality, that actually you're different, but you can add something different. And, there's statistics that show that companies that are more diverse are 36% more profitable. People know the stats. They're much more profitable. Companies that are more diverse, they're 45% more innovative than companies that are not. There's been studies that show this. There's about I think 69% of candidates consider diversity to be a deciding factor when they look for jobs as well.
Ooh.
So that means if companies are not diverse, then actually they're missing out on probably a lot of different candidates. There's so many different stats that I can reel out. But yeah, that's the value in it. The problem with DEI is that because it's not really new, but it's a new buzz thing right now. Let's be honest.
It is 100%.
It's a new buzz thing.
100%. I think since you mentioned George Floyd earlier on in the conversation, I think you did. I think even since then, I think it really started to take off.
Yeah. So the problem is with DEI that as a consultant, that I've identified is that companies say they want to do it and they want to apply DEI, but a lot of them don't know how. So when I have conversations, in particular, funnily enough, with I'm very candid and straightforward, right? With a lot of white males that are in senior positions at companies, and I speak very candidly with them. They say, we're hiring more women, and I'm like, that's a very, very small part of it, but it goes beyond that as well. There's so many other aspects of diversity to consider, and it's not just about hiring women either. Do they have a voice in the boardroom as well? Are they being promoted are they in CC level positions? Are they able to actually contribute massively to the workplace? So there's that. There's also another thing that I hear companies say is, we're working with 10,000 black interns, or we're working with, these diverse internship companies, replacement. That's all well and good. But what about the decision makers? Who is at the top? Because you can't have a massive influence on culture and company structure or anything if you're at the bottom. So that's fine, but who are we having at the top? And that's something that I'm working with companies on. And a lot of companies don't know how to measure up DEI with company growth and losing my words there, profitability. They don't know how to marry the two, and that's what I help them do, because they need to also see what the business effect is as well. And it's important, but they need to also, if they're going to invest time and money and resources into it, they need to see, okay, where is the ROI? And that is something that I help companies do.
Gotcha.
Hey guys, this is Adrian from the Sound of Accra podcast. I hope you're enjoying this episode. It's just a quick announcement. Now, have you guys been thinking about starting a podcast? I know everyone is starting a new podcast these days, but there's a very, very good reason why everyone is starting their podcast. Now, if you're thinking of starting, launching, growing, and monetizing your podcast, I'm here to let you know that I am now helping hundreds of podcasters around the world to do just that. And I've been doing just that for many years now. So if you're interested in learning how to start, launch, and grow your own podcast and get a piece of the pie of the podcasting world, and to be able to launch your own authority, launch your own brand, monetize, create a business, and so on and so forth, please do get in touch. Head over to A2Zpodcasting.com and learn more about how we can support you and your podcasting goals.
So you're helping them to connect the dots between profitability and, having DEI in the organization.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So I think when you're consulting them, you're connecting the dots, but also you're showing them, how important it is for them to have it in their talent strategy as well.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, I don't necessarily go in. So when I work with clients, my approach is always, let me look in first. We forget about external statistics and external factors, because for your company, that's irrelevant right now. Let's look at what has hindered you from making more money.
Mm-hmm.
What's hindered you from growing?
Mm-hmm.
What's hindered you from having a diverse leadership team, having a diverse thought and opinion? What are some of those things? So it's an audit. You have to look at company trends, you have to do deep dive interviews, you have to have real conversations. To do my role, you have to be very ballsy, because think about it, there's people that have been doing things a certain way for a long time.
You gotta change the mold that they've been
Yeah,
stuck
I've
in
been
so
told
long.
that I'm
It's a
too
common
young.
thing.
Like,
What?
yeah, I've been told that, with all due respect to Alicia, I've been in the industry for 30 plus years or 20 plus years. And I'm like, I understand that, but I'm here. You're not a DEI expert. I'm here. I've looked at trends. I'm studying it. I'm continuously studying it. I'm continuously educating myself. And if I'm telling you that something could be detrimental to your business, or could be improved, why would you not just listen? I would. If there's a 15-year-old coming to me and saying, maybe you should try this for social media instead, show me. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a factor.
Absolutely, because Gen Zs know more about social media than we do.
Exactly.
They use it more than what they grew up with it. We didn't.
Exactly.
We grew up with Windows 95 or Minecraft, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's also this theory that I like to share with clients about hiring, in the sense where a lot of what I hear is, there's not enough Black leaders to hire from. There's not a lot of selection. And I say, well, once upon a time, I'll say Alicia. Alicia wasn't a leader, but someone gave her the opportunity to grow into a leader. Someone gave her that opportunity to get into that role. Oftentimes enough, when companies want to replace someone that's in a leadership position, they forget about where they started in the company.
Yeah.
So they don't hire for that person that they started from. They hire for the person that they're leaving at. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I've noticed that I try to help companies with. But yeah, there's so many different spectrums.
Yeah.
So on.
It's a shame, because it blocks some opportunities for really good people that have potential to come into a certain role. You understand? It really does block opportunity. I see a few synergies between the I think it's the BYP network.
Yeah.
And yours. Did you know this was coming?
No, but I've been told this plenty of times before. I've worked with BYP before.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was gonna say, what's your relationship with them?
So I've worked at companies where I've worked with them as partners.
Okay.
And they're doing incredible things. So I really love how they've grown a lot. I've been kind of following them from the beginning. They did something called the Black Experience documentary. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
It's I think you have to be a partner with them, but I watched it because I wanted to roll it out to my last company for everyone to watch before I got made redundant. But no, it's okay, it's fine. But
when was that actually?
This was last year, August. But it was the Black Experience was that documentary was really, really good. I was actually really shocked by it, and I learned a lot from it. And it was just literally different individuals from various organizations and levels speaking about their experiences, but it was in depth. It was really good. So I do like their platform. I do think what they do is good. However, working with them, I do think that they're more targeted towards corporate.
Okay, that's fair play.
Yeah,
that's fair play.
I do, and so the companies that I've worked in have been more creative, advertising, marketing, fashion, and I don't think that's their strong point, because they don't naturally attract candidates from those fields.
Absolutely.
That's just from me working with them. Someone else can say completely different. Apart from that, I can shout out Duke. Duke's been amazing from BYP. Ever since I've ever communicated with her from years ago till now, she's been really on the ball, really helpful. And I'm looking forward to potentially collaborating one day with BYP as well, because that's what it's about. We both got strengths.
Absolutely.
We collaborate, we can grow, do more things together.
Collaboration is the key to growing sometimes. For those of you who don't know what BYP is, so it's Black Young Professionals. So it's it's spread from the UK, but it's like an international Black professionals network. So we'll put information about that in the show notes as well. And of course, we're going to continue to plug in Alicia here. But I feel like it's a similar network or community, but you're both on a similar mission, but doing it in different ways.
Yeah.
Working with different kinds of people, like you said, you're more focused on creatives.
Yeah.
There's the Sound of Accra. We speak to entrepreneurs and creatives, but they're more kind of corporate. You understand? So like PwC, I think they work a lot of the big four and people like that.
Yeah. They do.
Fantastic. All right. I mean, this is a really, really good taste. Again, I think you guys are getting a good taste of what BlackCreateConnect is all about. Let's talk about your public speaking. So I know, of course, you're a really good public speaker. I just found it quite interesting how, when it comes to us, I wouldn't really call me a public speaker per se, but when it comes to us speakers, when we're approaching someone, it's funny, it's ironic, or it's funny how we get butterflies in our stomach and we get nervous trying to ask someone to come on a podcast or for something, right? Try and give them value at the same time. You've spoken at a few places. So you've spoken at some universities. You've spoken at councils, with a Barnet Council, University, Southampton, etc. Right? What's that experience been like, and how did you get into that?
So, with the universities, there were just career talks, advising students, business students, on how to navigate in their career after, I guess, graduation. So how they came about, I had a conversation, I think the one for Southampton, I was just having a conversation with their careers advisor, just talking to them about my journey. Sometimes I just arrange calls with people if they ask to speak to me on LinkedIn, and I don't know where it's going to go. Sometimes I just say, okay, cool, let's have a chat and see what happens. And that's how that opportunity came about. Wonderful. And they said to me, do you know what? You're really honest about your journey. Share it with the students, because I think sometimes when I was in university, I went to university of Hertfordshire. UH.
Hey, what's up? I used to live there, actually.
Oh, did you?
St Albans.
Oh, okay. So you know about UH.
Yeah.
And I remember when people came to come and speak about their career journeys, it intimidated me a little bit, because I felt like, that bar is really, really high. Like, you left university, you started this business, you're thriving, you're doing this. Like, I wanted to hear something realistic. It wasn't like that for me and a lot of people when we left university.
Yeah.
It was actually very hard. It was very difficult finding out what you wanted to do, what you're good at, what your degree even means. And so, what I do when I do public speaking, so when I did the university ones, I spoke about my journey when I left university. And that really resonated with the students, and they felt, I guess, compelled to message me directly, asking for advice. I've also done, I guess, a small talk with, I think it's Found Divine.
Okay, shout to Izzy.
Oh, is it Izzy, or
yeah, she's the
sorry,
owner.
not Found Divine. You're gonna kill me. Sorry. It's Black Valley.
Black Valley. I've never heard of
That's the one. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I misquoted. Black
Sorry,
Valley, because I know that they've done work together. That's why. But Black Valley is by I think it's Lecky the founder.
Okay.
And that was really, really short. That was like online. But again, me talking about how to approach UX UI design to the students, that enabled them to speak to me directly and ask me more questions. And actually, I've got one of the girls from that session that interns with me now at BlackCreateConnect.
Wonderful.
So there was like a link. And with like Barnet Council and a couple of other companies like Analog Folk, for example, Media Calls, the talks I've done with them have always been centered around DEI. So I've done a lot of talks on allyship, what that means, how to apply it, why it's important. Also, I've spoken about diverse characteristics, understanding and identifying them, how to navigate with them. And Barnet Council, I remember that was for International Women's Day or month, it was in March. And that was kind of speaking about women experiences in the workplace and how to empower women. So I think when I do talks, it has to come from your story. You can't just, for me, I can't just talk about something that I haven't experienced. If someone asks me to speak about, I don't know, how to build an app from scratch, I could research it online, but I would say no, because I don't have that experience, and it's not going to be genuine.
You're going to be able to do it justice and speak on it from an authentic place.
No, and that doesn't serve anyone justice. I'd rather refer you, connect you with someone else that is better.
This is the connect part of BlackCreateConnect.
But that's what I'm like. I will try to help. If I can't help, I will say sorry. That's not my bag. But I think this person would be better.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So in the name BlackCreateConnect, what does the create
mean?
Yeah.
Yes. Everyone always asks this question.
So I know you're connecting. I know you're black. Where's the create come from?
Okay, so
apart from you creating content.
well, I mean, the create has so many different, I guess, meanings. But when I thought about it, when I sat down in Cyprus actually, and I thought I was in Cyprus when I thought of the name, and I thought, okay, do you know what? Because of how organizations are, And because I've had first-hand experience in recruitment, I am a massive advocate. I've done it so many times with hiring managers where I say, create an opportunity, create a role for this person. It doesn't exist right now, but we need to add a role for this person. They've done it a couple of times. My company I work with now wasn't a role that existed.
Okay,
It
so
was a
you're creating
creative
roles now.
Yeah.
It
So
happens in companies where
of
they
course,
create jobs
they're,
because
but they're
they find
open.
someone that's so good that we have to create a job for this person. It
Exactly,
happens.
and that's what I'm trying to do because companies are open to it. A lot of companies that I speak to, they're like, yes, if it makes sense. But the thing is about creating opportunities, right? It takes someone to be that influence in between because someone has to identify what can be created.
Yeah.
And someone needs to be like a senior stakeholder needs to be convinced as to why this, like
Of course,
basically
a
business case. Exactly, that has to be put together. Now, when you're a hiring manager and you're looking for a marketing manager, for example, you're not thinking about anything else but that. So you won't be able to have that mindset to necessarily. You might, but it's unlikely for you to think about creating a role. If you have an in-between person that says you want to be more diverse, this is a role that could be suitable for your business. In addition, they have this experience that's different to what you have. Let's create something for them. Then that's kind of where it comes into play. So that's what I want to do with companies, not just replace the hire, because unfortunately Adrian can't replace Peter, or Alicia can't replace, someone else.
George.
And even realistically, I think roles are created every single day, and people don't realize when there's a CEO of a company that leaves, you can't replace that exact CEO. They're not going to have the exact balance of skills or experience or personality. You're going to create a different role for them. You're going to call it CEO maybe, but it's a different role. So yeah, that's what the create is for.
Thank you for explaining that. That makes a lot more sense now.
It's okay.
So now I've been able to put all the pieces together. BlackCreateConnect.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I love it. And do you ever get like fear when you're speaking? I know it's probably like, I know it's not like you're speaking on huge stages or anything, but do you ever get like fear when you're speaking?
I think I will when I get to that point and I do a TED talk one day.
What happened?
Putting it out there into the universe. When that happens, I feel like I might be nervous. But to be honest with you, Adrian, do you know what helped me with my public speaking?
What helped you?
Church.
Really?
Yeah, church.
Oh.
When I was younger, because I was quite bold, they always said, Alicia, do a sermon for us.
Whoa.
Do this. Yeah, so I used to, when I was younger, I remember a particular sermon I did was called A Weakness for Sweetness. I think I was like maybe 11. Yeah, A Weakness for Sweetness.
Wow.
When I was about 11 years old.
You wrote that sermon when you were 11?
Yeah. And that was I'm sure we can guess what the sermon was about. But
I have a few ideas.
So me doing those things when I was younger, it helped to build my confidence in general.
Yeah.
Now, as an adult, it's different because when you're at church, it's a place of love. People want to hear what you're saying. They're there. Whereas when you're speaking to companies, sometimes everyone wants to hear what you're saying, sometimes they don't. So you have to find a way to connect. The way that I deal with things is, I think before I do any speak and any talk, I do need silence. I need to just be in my own space for a second, just to pray, to meditate, to think about what I'm going to say, and to make sure that I'm clear and I'm slow. And when I go in, and also I want to preserve my energy. I don't want to be, I can't, for example, have like a crazy busy, I don't know how people do it, crazy day of doing loads of things and then do a speak. I need to do that first thing in the day. So I can get it out of the way, give everyone my genuine energy. And I find that when you do that, people read it. People read when you're present in the room, when you're taking your time, when you know what you're speaking about, they know it. So that's one thing I pride myself on. Just know what you're speaking about. Be calm. I can talk fast sometimes. Slow down, Alicia. That's what I say. Slow down. Okay. And be your true self. And that's kind of how I do it. I hope that helps.
Oh, fantastic tips. Fantastic tips for those that want to pursue public speaking in any way, shape, or form, to any extent. Those are fantastic tips. I couldn't have said it any better. Thanks for lightening the audience in terms of public speaking. I love it. So let's talk about Ghana. So of course you've been here for a minute. You know, we've talked about how you're finding the trip.
Yeah.
Of course, you've networked a bit. You went to BlackCreateConnect.
Yeah.
You know, you've met a few people, and then maybe you have some future. Maybe there's some plans that you're probably considering. Talk us through that. Talk us through that.
I love Ghana. I'm Ghanaian. My Ghanaian name is Ya, because I was born on Thursday. I know, like literally, I feel so connected here. It's so strange. But yeah, so Ghana. I've gone to a couple of I went to the networking event Accra Connect. And funnily enough,
shout out Adjoa.
Yeah, shout out. That was a really good event. I was sent that event by someone from BlackCreateConnect.
Really?
In London, yeah.
Did I invite you as well to it?
You didn't invite me, which I was surprised about. You didn't invite me.
I thought I did. Okay.
No, but someone from the group messaged me.
Anyway.
Maybe you did, and I missed it. I missed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, someone said to me in London, I said, I think this is a bit of you. I said, oh, okay. And when someone recommends something to me and says it's a bit of you, I think, oh no, I have to try it. And so when I went there, I had no expectations at all. I just thought, let's see. First thing I loved about there, I loved it. Everyone just went up and spoke and introduced themselves. And I think that's really important at networking events. So I did that at my last networking event in summer. So not my most recent one, but one in summer I did. I had a session.
Back in London, yeah?
Yeah, in London. Okay. I had people come up and just say who you are, what people can come to you for. And it helps to break the ice a little bit because you don't really know how to navigate. I mean, you can go to a networking event and just talk to people, but it's so nice to just say, okay, that person's into property, or that person does a podcast, that person's got a book. So you just know. I love that bit. So that was something I liked. And I got a Ghana mug as well. Everyone got a gift, which was nice. The food at Cork's Lounge, mwah, mwah, mwah. I might get some tomorrow. Because today I've got some go somewhere else. Food was great. Again, it was that's why I met Eric as well.
Yeah,
which was
Eric.
which was really nice. And again, I feel like whenever you meet someone through different methods, like I met him obviously there, and then obviously I found out that he knew you. It just reaffirms that you're supposed to meet that person. That was really nice. That was really nice to see. I've got someone that I guess is a client now, but they want me to help them with their
from the Accra Connect.
Yeah, like paid. Yeah.
Shout out to Adjoa, super connected.
Honestly,
I've met so many people through Adjoa's starting in London and stuff.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. So that was really good. And then I came to obviously your the third year anniversary, which was really nice to see. Even I got to see James. Yeah, that's when me and James
shout
connected.
Out to James.
Oh, James is phenomenal. So it was great seeing him. Great seeing Akua as well.
Yeah, Akua. Yeah, it's funny you were interviewing the next day as well.
Yeah.
Did you expect her to be there probably?
No, I didn't. I didn't. But it was nice seeing her. Then I saw Yasmin. Me and Yasmin I literally texted her just before I came in. I didn't expect to see her.
Yeah.
So I was just texting her saying, "Hey, do you have Wi-Fi at the studio?" And then I see, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Yasmin!" So it's just nice, and it really makes me feel like it's really easy to connect her. I feel like it is. It feels easy to connect, and to be honest with you, I think being in the sun, being in a nice place and environment, it adds to your whole energy, your whole vibration. So everyone's a bit more positive, I reckon, than they would be in London. Everyone's just really warm. So it's been nice from the networking standpoint. And of course, I came to do, Dirty December, they call it. Dirty December. So for those that don't know, Dirty December is the terminology used by many across the globe.
Or Dirty December as well.
Dirty. I'm even saying it wrong.
Some people say both. People say both. Could be used both, yeah.
Where it's nothing bad. It's actually quite a big celebration where people come together in West Africa and just party. And I did that. The moment I touched down into Accra, I went to my apartment, I got ready. And I went out, and I was out till like 7 a.m.
That's crazy. First day,
First day. And then back to back for like 6 days. I went
disgusting.
out.
I couldn't do that.
I was exhausted. I can't tell you the last time I've done that. Maybe when I was 21. I don't know. Yeah, but iron up a days. That's really when I did it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that was really fun, but very tiring. So I think the next time I come to Ghana this year, I will come again for Christmas. I'm going to be more selective on where I go. Because
It's true.
I was sleeping my days away initially.
100%.
Yeah, so the second half of the job, I'm so happy I extended because I'm able to just
sleep in the day. And
I can't waste Ghana like that. So I'm happy that I'm able to like experience it properly and go to networking because I wasn't gonna go to Accra Connect because I was tired.
Yeah. But did you just force yourself to go?
Yeah, I said no. No. I cannot just come here and just party. No. I must meet people. Okay. So I said to my friend, we have to go, even though we got there late, but we got there just in time. We got there Ghana time.
Wonderful. Yeah, no, it's really great to hear about all the experiences, the connections, and the networking you've made. And I think you've really lived up to BlackCreateConnect, even in Ghana as well. Like what you just doing what you're doing in London and Ghana, which is great. So maybe we'll have some kind of BlackCreateConnect in Africa. Who knows?
Yes.
Who knows? Some kind of version of it. Who knows? Really enjoyed this conversation, Alicia.
Thank you.
Is there any announcements you'd like to make?
Announcements?
And 2023 plans?
Oh, okay. So first of all, announcement-wise, the BlackCreateConnect.co.uk website is live. So for candidates, create an account because we are adding, at the end of February, we have like a long list of resources that we're adding to help you elevate in your career. It's free. So join it, sign up for it. You'll get first access to our events that always sell out as well. We don't sell the tickets, but all the tickets always go really quickly. So connect with us on that. We also, if you feel like you know anyone that would be a good guest for my podcast as well, that you think I should connect with, I'm open to recommendations. Drop me an email, alicia@blackcreateconnect.co.uk. If you're a company and you're wanting to work with us, if you would like to, connect more authentically and creatively with Black professionals, again, connect with me, alicia@blackcreateconnect.co.uk. I'm always open to interns. I have interns pitch to me and say, oh, I want to do this. And I say, okay, let's see how we can fit it in. I'm open. Doesn't matter where you're based. I've got interns in Ghana as well too. And I've got someone in Nigeria. So I'm really open to connecting globally. Doesn't matter what your race is, where your background is, what your abilities are. I will do all I can to make it work. So that's that. Plan for 2023. I want to get some more partnerships with various organizations, but organizations that really genuinely want to connect with the Black community. I'm not really focused on profit. I'm focused on impact. I'm focused on value more than anything. I want at the end of 2023, I want there to be at least minimum 100 Black professionals that have said, listen, I found a job through your network, or I've got a great opportunity through your network. Thank you for connecting me. Thank you for helping me get to the next step of my career. And I want companies to turn around and say, you've helped us get incredible talent. Like that, for me, if I just have that by any means, I'd be like, okay, great. Let's go again, 2024. let's double it. Let's keep going because that's the mission. And hopefully, maybe not for 2023, but I want BlackCreateConnect to be CreateConnect as a franchise where I actually empower other community leaders from other marginalized groups to create their own network. So that you might be from, I don't know, you might be Latina, but you might be from LGBTQ plus backgrounds, or you might have a particular abilities. It can be whatever it is. I want to eventually have that. The reason why I don't have that now, because people might be thinking, why are you only focused on Black? What's the reason for that? I can only, connect and relate with those experiences. So I don't want to speak on experiences and lead out in a community that I'm not part of. I'd rather empower another leader to follow a similar kind of footprint, and we can share ideas on how to do it. But I would love to empower someone else to do it for their community. So that's what I'm about. So
that'd be great. Yeah. So you can basically hand over the blueprint or the
100%,
the business model, everything. You can hand over to someone
exactly and say, look, do this as well for you.
The communities and
exactly.
Industry. Fantastic! I'm really excited about what 2023 and beyond has for you, Alicia.
Thank you.
Thank you for blessing us with your presence. Where can people find you and BlackCreateConnect?
Thank you for having me, Adrian. I appreciate it as well.
Might as well.
So to follow, BlackCreateConnect first and foremost, podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Black, spelt normally,
Yeah.
create, spelt normally, connect, spelt normally, all one word. On social media, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, again, exact same thing, all one word, no spaces in between. To connect with myself, if you want to see more of me, I'm on LinkedIn. You'll see Alicia Richardson. If you search me, it's Alicia R, but then you'll see like a beige background, my hair's up. You'll know it's me. You will know it's me. Like you will. And I mean, Instagram's just vibes, so don't worry about that.
They'll start finding you now. They're gonna send the search crew to come and find you on Instagram.
I mean, if you find me, just know that's Alicia on Instagram, and that's enjoyment. I'm not doing anything crazy. I just like to turn up and look cute. That's all.
That's it.
So connect with me on those platforms.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing this.
So
we'll have all of those links in the show notes. You can head over to thesoundofaccra.com/Alicia. Imagine that you got your own page. So for all of the links, nuggets, wisdom, references that she's dropped on this episode. And other than that, on your way out, please leave us a comment, let us know what you think of this episode, and subscribe. And Apple, Spotify listeners, give us a 5-star review, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Take care.
Thank you so much, Adrian.
Hey guys, this is Adrian from the Sound of Accra podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's just a quick announcement. Now, those of you may have been watching or following the podcast for quite some time now, I would like to hear from you. What do you think of our podcast? What topics do you want to hear from us more? What guests do you want to see? What kind of episodes would you like to see or hear? Please let us know. Drop an email to info@thesoundofaccra.com or fill out a short form in the description below, and me and the team will get in touch with you. Also, if you would like to sponsor future seasons, please do get in touch. Info@thesoundofaccra.com, or we'll drop a form in the description below, and we will be able to share some information and our decks in terms of how you can get involved in sponsoring a season. And finally, we're working on a paid private community where like-minded Ghanaian creators, entrepreneurs, and even others from the greater African diaspora can come together and up-level themselves as an entrepreneur, as a creative, as a creator, or as an authority in the industry, learning how they can, do better in their fields. Drop us an email, info@thesoundofaccra, or fill out the short form below, and you'll get more information about that coming soon in 2023. Thank you for watching. See ya.